but I enjoy going to some of the plays. And we have a very famous theatre here in Chichen. Is a fort from the Iron Age. You know, very old people had a big fort on the top of that hill.
It's strange, but I like.
Well, most of it gets a bit hot in the summertime. Yes, in July. I thought not every year. I remember when International Geological Congress was there. It was quite hot.
84.
Was it 84? Yeah.
But you know that summer, not last year, in 2013,
Yes.
it was so hot in Marilka.
Really?
Really? No water in Marilka.
No.
No.
No water at all?
Yes. And it was every day during 1 month, maybe more. I left it more than 30 degrees.
I will have to see whether I can get through this door. Last time when Louise came, I didn't go. I stayed because I have been. But I shall try it sometime. We'll see. Firstly, to go through that door is only 4.5 feet height.
Age of 12 as a midshipman, quickly rose through the ranks, and at 21 he was appointed a captain. That was young. Nelson was the sort of officer who led from the front. Some of those lamps are not as sturdy as they can be. I can see it landing on a little head at some point, sorry about that. He led from the front, and it cost him. 1794, off Corsica, he had a wooden splinter go into his right eye, and he lost the sight in his eye. 1797, off Tenerife, he was shot in the right arm, and his arm was amputated just below the shoulder. 1 hour after losing his arm, he was back on duty. That's what Nelson was like. 1798, at the Battle of the Nile, he received a dreadful head injury. I won't give you details. And very good friends, and they later became lovers. They returned to England in 1800, where Lady Hamilton, Nelson and her husband all moved into the same house together near Wimbledon. It was a scandal. And in May 1803, Nelson was appointed admiral. Ships in these days. And this is where you would have found Nelson, Captain Hardy and some of the others. The Battle of Trafalgar began on the 21st of October, almost immediately destroyed. The ship's bell at the bow was smashed to pieces. 8 Royal Marines were killed by a single bar shot up there on the poop deck. Captain Hardy ordered Nelson to be taken 4 decks down to the orlop deck, where the surgeon had set up the emergency treatment area to look after the wounded. But it gets worse for Nelson. We have nice wooden steps. Nelson was manned down rope with a broken leg. All around us, 60 ships in battle, 27 English, 33 French and Spanish, and 1 banana boat. Oh, that way. Smoke, flame, noise. It's what Nelson had written in his journal beforehand. It was to be a... The men didn't like reporting sick, because when they did, they would lose their rum ration, which was not good. Both extremely nasty, but antiseptic. For the boys on board, below the age of 18, got a couple here, their punishment was a little different. They would be thrown over a gun and the hands and feet tied down. And then they would be beaten on the bottoms, on the behinds. Not on the hands, you needed your hands for work. Discipline on board these ships was harsh. Misbehave, you knew. Now, we have 3 gun decks, and altogether there were 104 guns on the ship. Now, because the ship is very old, we only have 11 iron guns on board. The rest of them are replica. The only gun on the ship we know was on board at the Battle of Trafalgar. You can't get more real than this. And they work. Well, the first thing you do is call the gun in. Spark. That spark goes into the pan, which ignites the powder. Sends a jet of flame out at the side, which sets fire to the powder on the top, burns down the touch hole, reaches the bag, and the gun fires. If that powder on top of the gun gets blown away or gets wet or something, you only get a flash in the pan. That's where that one comes from. So there we are, the gun is loaded, and it's pushed out. You can't aim 2.5 tons of iron. So you wait until the enemy ship crosses directly in line with you. And once you've acquired your target, you make sure your gun crew are safe, because the recoil will bring the gun in about this far. Anyone stood in the way would be seriously injured. And when ready, the gun captain will pull on the lanyard and fire the gun. It's very simple.
Наверное, типа наковальников.
They reckon there are 250 soldiers in full. They'll be disappointed to find out that the rum and the brandy was kept in a locked compartment in the stern with a Royal Marine on duty. All real. Just the 4 at this end. These are the amputation tools. Where are you going? Front row. You start off with the defleshing knife. That went straight the way round the liver, and they peel the skin back to expose the bone. It's the lowest thing you're going to go through today at just 4'3". So for the last time, everyone, mind your heads. This way, please.
Thank you. Thank you.